This is a very difficult story for me to tell. About 6 hours after this video was taken, WildChild was sailing 20 miles off Cape Fear in very calm conditions, when in the darkness around midnight, a water spout hits her, a tornado, and tears her to pieces, rips her apart, and I have to call the Coast Guard to come rescue me. It's around 7 p.m. WildChild is 28 miles from rounding Cape Fear. They call it Cape Fear because you have to go 18 miles from shore to get water safely deep enough to transit. It's full of sand and shoals that are constantly shifting and wreck ships all the time. 28 more miles till Cape Fear, and about 80 miles until we finish in Morehead City, North Carolina. As you can see, the ocean conditions are lovely, and I chose the weather window well. It was very calm, sustained 15 knots of wind, waves around 1 meter, we're broad reach, running with the wind from behind. I like a calm ocean. Calm is good. As the sun sets, I have my crew down below resting for our upcoming midnight shift. The ocean is calm. We're still sailing broad reach, starboard tack, 15 knots of wind, sails on the port side. I've got the main restrained with a preventer to the tow rail on the port side. First reef in the main, 70% Jenny. Conditions are calm and we're moving fine, as we've been doing all day. I know it's hard for you guys to see as I film this in the dark, but that is a lot of lightning in the distance behind us. Like scary amounts of lightning. I'm paying close attention to the sky as I watch the storms behind us, south of us. It looks like we're going to be clear. They're 3 or 4 miles south. We should clear north of it. The skies above us are clear. We should be fine. But as you can tell, in the dark, I can't see shit. I have no idea what's around us. I couldn't see anything coming. As you can see, I'm sailing in my usual relaxed position at the helm, watching videos on my tablet, and keeping an eye on the storm. This video was taken about half an hour before the tornado hit. One of the things that's difficult to handle about being an offshore ocean-going sailor is that when you see nasty weather in the distance and terrifying-looking storms like that approaching, you have no safe marina or dock to tide to, no safe place to hide. Whatever Mother's gonna bring, we're gonna take it to the face. There is no actual video of the event that destroyed WildChild. It hit me out of the blue and in the dark. There's no video footage of it. But the story is, WildChild was sailing along in these conditions. I had 15 knots of wind from the back right side. My sails were restrained on the port side. I had about 70% Jenny out, first reef in the main, and the main was prevented to the tow rail on the port side, just to keep it from swinging. Conditions in the dark were as pleasant as they'd been all day. I was watching the storm 4 miles behind us. There was nothing overhead. I was in my usual sailing position, watching videos at the helm, keeping an eye on the instruments, when all of a sudden, the boat begins to act funny. Oh Lord, there's a sound. It's a sound like a freight train coming at you. I can still hear it now. It's not something you can describe to people or explain. You just feel it in your soul. Everything begins to shake and rattle out of the blue. The wind switches around 180 degrees. The starboard rail goes into the water, and I don't just mean the rail. I mean the entire side deck is in the water to the cockpit, with water rushing over the coaming. Something is seriously wrong. WildChild's being pushed sideways to the wind. She's fully backwinded, and she's trying to flip herself over. I've leapt up to grab the helm, but I have no steering control. The alarms are going off. WildChild's suddenly being pushed sideways, and it feels like she's trying to round up, but she doesn't round up. She keeps getting pushed sideways, like in a swirly circle. Then it happens. There's a noise, a terrible noise. I can still hear it in my mind. And she demasts. WildChild's mast collapses in front of me in the dark, and I realize, holy shit, this is it. We're done for.
That's it, guys. WildChild just demasted. We're 20 miles off Cape Fear. The mast just came down. The yacht rounded up. She broke the rigging. She's demasted. We're afloat. I called Coast Guard for rescue. I don't know what I can do right now. I gotta cut the mast to be free of the boat. We're floating. Winds at 20 knots. From behind, we're 20 miles from shore. I've got a rescue being called. We're gonna need to be evac'd, and that's the end of the story of WildChild. None of this is a good scene. It's acting like a sea anchor, and I gotta try to cut it free. I'm not sure how to. This is bad shit. I told you the ocean wanted to kill me.
None of that's a good scene.
What?
Yeah, let it go. That mast should be on the keel. I mean, we're still floating, so we're okay. Bye, WildChild. You were a good girl. Mommy loves you.
Alright, what about the other map?
Mayday, 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 mayday. This is the sailing vessel WildChild calling mayday, mayday, mayday. We have dismasted 20 miles off Cape Fear. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
I press a button and I don't know.
Already recording. It's beeping at me.
The mast is smashing against the boat. There's a risk it's going to puncture other holes. It's also in the water with full sails, which are acting like a sea anchor. The current is now trying to leverage or flip WildChild over, and I don't want her to roll. I need to remove the mast somehow, so I grab my cordless angle grinder, but just my luck, all of the batteries are dead, and they're running out of power. I'm just trying to cut everything away to get us free.
I gotta get the backstay off. Fuck.
I thought I put that one. That was it, wasn't it?
You're good.
WildChild has solid rock rigging. There's no way I'm going to be able to cut it away with bolt cutters or anything. I need this angle grinder. Her stays are very thick and very hard to cut, but you can hear the batteries are dying. I'm scrambling through the boat to try to find some battery with some amount of power in it. I've got to release the mast or it's going to flip us.
Your toolbox is underneath there, right there. Yeah, that'll work. That should do it. Try to cut it. It might work. Give it a try.
Yep. I gotta go cut the mast free. with my angle grinder. We've already got maydays out. Hopefully the Coast Guard gets here soon. This is a rough ride and a lightning storm just hit.
Okay. Citherine.
I'm up on deck for quite a while, desperately trying to cut the mast away. I'm using the knife on my life jacket to cut lines and halyards and shrouds. I'm using the angle grinder, I'm changing batteries, I'm doing everything I can. But that forestay, she's so big and thick, and it's wrapped up in the sail, there's no way for me to access it. I have to cut the cotter pins and try to release the main pin. This is really difficult and we're desperate. We've got to right the boat. We need the boat to float, and we have to separate the mast. I gotta get the forestay off.
Okay. Almost there. Almost there.
Give me the hammer. The red axe hammer thing.
You can see I'm trying to get the mast cut away, so at least we're a motorboat. But the forestay is still attached, and I can't seem to get it off. There we go. This is exactly where we are when we dismasted. We were just nicely sailing around Cape Fear when a storm hit, and she dismasted. We're waiting for Coast Guard rescue now. Mayday for Coast Guard rescue. WildChild dismasted 20 miles off Cape Fear. We were sailing along just fine at 15 to 20 knots of wind, broad reach. Everything was fine. I heard a bang at the mast. Then WildChild got gusted heavy and tried to round up. As she was rounding up, she dismasted. I had to go on deck with tools and get the mast cut away. We've now called for Coast Guard rescue, and I think they're coming to get us. That's the end of WildChild's story. Well, this sucks. There goes everything I own. I'm homeless now. You okay, Valerie?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm so grateful that you were here because you were so unbelievable. Like, you exactly what you do. You went out there and you cut the whole mast off the deck, preventing the boat from flipping over. You stayed calm, and that made me feel calm. So I'm so grateful, and you're coming back home with me and Andy.
You're gonna adopt me?
Yes, you have a home. You always have a home. Don't worry about it.
Oh God, I love this boat. I took such good care of her and she took care of me for so long. It's so hard, but I had to say goodbye to everything. She belongs to Neptune now. They told me that she sank the next day. I lose everything.
Well, you spend all this money on flares. Today's the day I get to play with them. The Coast Guard's coming. They said they sent the C-130. The airplane's gonna come find us and guide the boat. You were a good girl. Mommy loved you, but you let me down. Okie dokie. Let's play with the flares, baby. We got bags of shit to play with. This is pretty funny. I have
so many guns and so many flares. So let's start with this for now. Okay, we're gonna try shooting off a flare. Okay, here we go, another flare. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see me, but I'm launching flares. I got the mast separated. It's a bit sporty out here, but the Coast Guard says that they're coming. I do see lights of a boat off my starboard beam, and I have a VHF handheld radio, so I've got some contact with that, and I'm launching flares. They should come get us soon, and I can begin my new homeless life on land. It came off my starboard side. We're not getting it. Is there any way you can undo that right there?
You'll be able to step over fast.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll do it right now. Right now.
Right now.
You're on.
Okay.
Relax. Just the only two.
Okay. Y'all are the only two, right?
My wild child. I love you, sweetheart, but you really let me down! It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. My seizures and my heart condition have been getting the better of me. After this adrenaline release, I finally pass out, and I wake up the next day in a hospital. I wake up the next morning in an American hospital room. I have no money. I am lost. I am alone. I just lost everything I own on that boat. This you see on the floor is all that I have left. I need help to get on my feet again. Alright. I've been discharged from the Hospital of America, and I'm in America, and now I'm sitting outside with a couple of bags of stuff. That's everything to my name. Homeless. I just lost everything. I did not have a contingency plan for this. I was not intending to lose my boat offshore. I don't know what to do. Kind of in shock still. Lost, alone, and far from home. A GoFundMe page was started to help me. The link's in the description and on the website. All help is appreciated.